This is a horror game podcast. It is meant for mature audiences. It may contain adult language, violence, and sexual themes, as well as shocking revelations. Viewer discretion is advised. Greetings, fellow investigators, and welcome back to our video podcast, Into the Darkness, where my friends and I are playing the Imperium Maledictum role-playing game. I'm your host, Thom Raley. The scenario is the Burning Seraph. It was written by Christopher Colston, John Dunn, and others. It's available in the Imperium Maledictum starter set. Our game master is Keith Craig, and this is episode 2. Our recap will be given by me as my character, Sister Helza Scorn. So without any further delay, let's begin our journey into the darkness. May the light of our Divine Emperor guide our paths and reveal any stumbling blocks in our way. It is the year 41020. We stand in the hive city of Hokarth on the planet of Voll. We are myself, Wilkes Garn, the interlocutor, Kali Tannerin, the warrior, Idolon the penumbra, and the mech Cassius Calibus, a misguided believer in the machine god. On this day, our divine lord sent us one of his blessed cherubs, a messenger from the Inquisition, tasking us with the investigation of a possible new saint, a pure soul who survived an explosion at Acid Refinery Delta 64 on a lower level. We were told to contact Leo Ratz for more information. We had some small trouble getting to him as he was being accosted by thugs in an attempt to abscond with his vile mechanical leg. Idolon relieved the leader of his brain. We stopped the crime and allowed Ratz his vengeance. We were told of a divine manifestation, which Ratz called the Burning Seraph. He pointed us in the direction of the Levels Temple and the Archdeacon Arsoti. When we arrived, we could see the wreckage of the refinery and the holy circle cleared by the clergy. The sanctification ritual was just at the first antiphon, so I waited until the coda to approach. As I went forward to speak with the Archdeacon, one of us, Cassius Calibus, went to a nearby machine temple to speak with those delusionals. I'm not sure if he's revealed everything to us that they said to him. As I approached Archdeacon, I did notice a mechanical arm on the ground, an odd thing. Archdeacon said he could not explain it, but was continuing his investigation. I told him I was there to assist. I looked over at all the paperwork and went through it. I have no reason to doubt Archdeacon, but if in fact this is a hoax, he cannot be blamed for being tricked. I spoke of the Burning Seraph to him, and he said that it had appeared many times even before the accident, and it gave the people hope. Not sure what that means. He told me that in 2 days' time it would appear again during his sermon, and that I was invited to witness this miracle. Accepted. Later, when I told my comrades, they seemed concerned for my safety, but I reassured them that I was a loyal and devout follower of the God Emperor, and I had nothing to fear. And so we stand here now, with the light of the Emperor upon us, praying that he reveals to us all that we have to investigate.
All right, excellent. Okay, so you guys, last time you close off, you were talking about you looked at the roster that Wilkes had gotten from the administratum, and noticed that there was some names that were removed, which was definitely not the proper filing of the paperwork and everything. Cassian, you of course had watched the video and see that the servitor had recorded and everything. And what were you guys wanting to do? The day's kind of coming to an end. You've been investigating it for quite for several hours now. Everything. Now, of course, the city, they just rotate the shifts. People work their 12-hour shift, get released, and another batch come in for 12 hours. So the city will still be up and moving. It's not really day and night since no one ever sees the stars.
Are we back together after our separate sort of explorations?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Then I think I'll speak up and I'll say, "Good news, brothers and sisters. The machine god has blessed us with his truth, a recording in the form of a digital file. We can watch the event for ourselves."
Well, yes, let's do. Let's do that.
Yes, by all means.
All right. So you start playing that, and it starts out, people are showing up and for work and all, and they're coming in and out. And then you see this person start walking into the building. And Kali, go ahead and give me an awareness roll there at a plus 20.
Uh, just a pass, 45 under 50 with the
Okay.
bonus.
Yep. So as you're kind of watching it, you notice on the kind of the robe that the person's wearing, you see a patch on it, and you recognize it as the patch of the 63rd, your old military unit.
Ooh. This robe obscures the figure's features.
Yep, and it's kind of like up. He's got the cowl up and all. Cassian had noticed before when the person was walking in that they had mechanical legs, so their legs had been replaced. But
Wow. So, yeah, this could have been a comrade in arms of mine if those robes are their own and not scavenged or retrieved.
then shortly after that, you see an arbiter, a policeman. He goes into the building. You notice he has a mechanical arm also, and then maybe 30, 40 seconds later, the acid refinery explodes. And then the only person that walks out dressed exactly the same as that man wearing the robes and all. Doesn't look like he's burned at all or anything. So
It's
this
just
was a
him.
Indeed, that would seem miraculous. I don't know
And you say
why.
that you might know him.
Yes, him or her. I can't tell. The robes obscure it too completely. Does there uh did the officer that entered, was he evidently carrying anything that might have caused an explosion?
no. He had his stub pistol that they carry, but he didn't seem to have any melta bombs or anything like that. Nope.
And the figure coming out, does it appear to have all four of its limbs?
It is just like the figure that went in. You could tell that it has mechanical legs.
We can't see its
Even
arms
if,
in the robe, though.
No.
but even if it were, or your comrade were partly machine, the machine would have been destroyed by the acid as well. So
Oh,
it's miraculous that he's walked out. Even his robe is intact.
This is a miracle of technology, not of divinity.
What technology could have saved him from that? The
That
building
is the
itself was
question.
technology and it was destroyed.
Something advanced, something valuable.
What do you say, Wilkins? Wilkins.
Well, I'm wondering if the um policeman, like the arbiter, that's it. The arbiter's arm is the one that you found on the site. because it just happens that we've got a rogue arm that's there. But yeah, I'm thinking the fact that well, we'll call him or call it him for the minute, just for sake of assigning a gender. This figure, it almost feels like they're in a bubble. There's something circular that manifested around them and protected them when this explosion went off, and that the poor Arbiter's arm just happened to be halfway across that threshold, and that's what maybe cut it off.
You mean he was on the outside of that barrier and his arm was inside?
Yeah.
Interesting.
The Arbiter was following the figure inside and tried to grab it, and that's when the explosion happened. Do we think that Mysterious 63 caused the explosion? Which does not seem like a terribly saintly thing to do.
And let us decide what we think could cause an explosion of this catastrophic size. Surely not just some small thing that one would carry inside.
Well-placed bomb.
I don't know much about the workings of an acid refinery, but I imagine that it's in general a rather dangerous occupation.
I will say that all of you can give me a logic evaluation, and if you have military experience, you can roll with a plus 20.
Thing.
15 is a 3 pass.
Oh, nice.
26 is a pass.
Yeah, I just missed it with 47.
Okay. So, Wilkes and Cassium, you know that Hogarth on there, this is one of the places they create melt-bombs, which are essentially fusion bombs. So, and those would definitely be powerful enough to annihilate a building that quickly.
How large are they?
They're like grenades.
Would they leave a signature of any sort that we could detect?
They probably
like
would
there's
leave
residue. Most
Yep.
explosives leaves a residue. What would be the signature of a fusion bomb?
radiation.
Bunch of neutrons.
What motivation could there possibly be for blowing up an acid refinery?
Good question.
It's hardly done any damage to the system itself. They'll just make more somewhere else.
Looking at the bigger picture, though, you could be stemming the flow of goods from the refinery. So you're depriving the military as to whatever wing of the Imperium that these weapons are going to. You're depriving them of resources they could be using on the front line.
Maybe it was a front.
Or maybe it was a personal, maybe the intention was personal.
I think I'm in favor of the idea of it being personal, because while Wilkes is correct, there are hundreds of these refineries, so it would make a minuscule dent in that, in the amount of resources. Perhaps a personal vendetta.
Although we do have, concerningly for myself at least, we do have a problem with the Administratum in the area, that one of their scriveners just decided to up and leave when it became very noticeable that they had been tampering with records, or they had allowed records to be tampered with. That screams of guilt. And given that the Administratum does look after the logistics of where weaponry is funneled from its point of creation to its ultimate dispersal into the battlefield, then again that's worrying from my angle, but that's maybe just because of my background with the Administratum.
Now, there is a sense of conspiracy in general, secrets being kept.
And a whole load of self-mutilation going on as well. the hands that we noticed.
Now I'm wondering too, I mean, obviously the person who sets the bomb would leave the building before the bomb went off. And yet this
Unless they
person
were
was,
sure that they were protected.
I
Or
would still do it. You don't want to be caught on the scene of the crime.
maybe it's not the same person. Let's look again. Does he have the same legs on the way out that he had on the way in?
You could identify that without any issue being a follower of the Messiah.
Is there anything else about the one coming out that doesn't look quite like the one going in?
No, it looks exactly the same gait and everything and all.
This
We
might
don't
be a
see-
reach, but I don't know if this would be a law check to know. Can or are there any technological devices that can produce like a bubble of armor around someone, or is this something maybe a psyker could do? Whether they could have project like a force bubble around them that could protect them and everything else around them against fried.
Uh, that would be a lore roll or a tech roll. Your choice on that. It's lore forbidden, which I know you don't have. So
No. Yeah, I'll go with regular law.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a no.
Yeah.
Well, let's not forget that our God Emperor could have reached out through time and placed his hand to protect the saint.
And if he did, praise be to the Emperor. But we need to ascertain if that is the case.
But why was he there? Why, if you're not a worker? He didn't appear to be a worker at the acid refinery.
What is the timestamp on this recording? When did the explosion happen?
Let me get that info for you. It
Indeed,
happened.
Sister Hilza.
Yeah.
The Emperor's message takes many forms.
It happened yesterday. So in the evening is when it occurred. So it was it was about an hour after the shift changeover.
So not an employee, certainly. Does it look as though the Arbiter is actually following the Saint into the building, or do they look as though they're on separate business? Does the Arbiter...
It looks like he's following him.
Calibus, do your people have any other surveillance? Do we see where this saint goes?
I like the motive question. Maybe we can look at that. What connection does this person have with the...
Yeah, and also it could have been somebody from the previous shift leaving a bomb behind to go off in an hour after they left.
It's too suspicious that they walk in, the explosion goes off, and they walk right out, and they're fine. It must have been.
Yeah.
It's just
Motive is very strange.
Occam's razor, I think.
Well,
How much?
here's a throwing out a hypothesis, kind of connecting some dots here. If this is someone with a military background, they've gone into a place that produces military equipment. What if there's someone who was disgruntled by the fact that maybe a melter bomb that was produced here is what took off their legs? So is there any digging or any connections that Callie can pull on the military side that can see if there is anyone that suffered a injury via melter bomb that removed both of their legs?
Want to go talk to the local Astra Militarum office? I believe he has a +1 influence with Astra Militarum, so he would probably be your best option.
All right, that's an inquiry we can pursue. How trivial is it to look for radiation at the site?
I can do
Uh,
that.
yeah, yeah, that can be done.
I'll get a scanner and go there.
I have a
After all, I
thought.
am working now for the archdeacon. I've convinced him to let me help investigate.
Maybe his mechanical legs were installed by acolytes of Adeptus Mechanicus. And if so, perhaps there's a
Calibus,
record.
Calibus, if I could retrieve the arm that's there, is there a way to find out who it belonged to? A
Yes,
signature?
I believe that there is.
I'll scan for radiation and see if I can retrieve the arm.
They're treating the arm as a holy artifact, are they not?
Not necessarily. The archdeacon was kind of surprised that it was there.
More nonplussed than
Yeah, it was
focused
just
on it
there.
as a.
So they wouldn't find a mechanical object unless it was directly linked into the emperor.
So I got a colleague going to the Astra Militarum offices. Sister Helza going to go back to the site of the miracle to check it out. And
Retrieve the
what
arm.
was Wilkes going to do?
I might make some more calls via the pad to go back to the administrorum and see if I can find out the details of the scrivener who I initially spoke to, and see if I can basically find out more about her to give us a lead as to where she might be and why she decided to run.
Uh, Completely. Yep, makes sense. Cassian, what were you going to do?
I'll go with Sister Helza, and then the two of us together maybe we'll go by the Church of Adeptus and look up and see if anyone has had Android legs installed.
Okay. Yep. And then finally, Eidolon.
So I'm going to go to this site, but my goal is to see if there's any of these people with the scarred hands,
Right.
find one and follow them back to where they're going.
Oh, I love it.
Do what I'm
Excellent.
good at.
Okay. All right. Okay. We'll start with Wilkes there. So you're going to reach out to the administratum and you're going to try and find out some information about the scrivener that disappeared and all. So find that spot in here. Okay. All right. Okay. So are you going in person or are you going to call it up on Vox?
If I can do it in person, I'll try that because they can't hang up on me if I'm stood on the
That's
doorstep.
true. Yep. Okay. So you head to the data mill district and you're greeted by by the secretary Galatia. She goes, "Ah, what can we do for you, interlocutor guard?"
Mhm. Oh, I was wondering about a scrivener that I was recently in contact with who discontinued communication rather abruptly. And I'm just wondering if everything's okay with them, especially considering there were some discrepancies in the data that she supplied. So I'm wondering if you can provide me with some details about her, if you can give me pull her file for me.
Oh, of course, of course. She's like going, it's most disturbing that there was errors in the files. That should not be occurring. So she kind of goes over, she starts doing some SQL queries, and it pulls up. She's like, you must be referring of Scribus Jorgensen, correct?
That
Uh,
sounds right.
yes, yes, yes. She Hmm. She did not check out from work today. Hmm. We
Left in
must,
a hurry. Hmm.
yes, must dock her full pay. That is unacceptable. And what were you needing on that? Anything else on that? Right.
Yeah, I'm wondering if you have an address for her, or at least a sector where she's currently supposed to be residing.
Okay. For them to give you that, they do have, of course, her have address. Go ahead and give me a rapport uh, either inquiry, and you get an automatic +1 success level because you're dealing with your faction.
Hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll go. I've got rapport, so I'll take that. So, here we go. And I'll take that 1 success level then, because that was not a good roll.
Okay. So with that, they provide it to you, but it takes them a bit of time to get to you. So you're waiting for about an hour or so before they get it. But that's still decent amount of time for the administratum. So
Yeah,
no, they,
compared to the normal snail's pace of documents passing across the counter. Yeah.
they get you the the address of Rahab. So
Yeah,
all
right.
right.
That's where I can follow up with. Mhm.
Okay. All right. We'll go hop down to Kali going to the Astra Militarum headquarters. And when you show up, of course, they've got all kinds of like recruiting posters, the come save mankind, fight the Xenos, make the galaxy safe for the Imperium, make the Imperium great again, and all that. So when you when you show up and the recruiter stands up, he's like going, welcome, welcome. Caring to sign up to defend the Imperium?
Uh, my immediate service for the Emperor is of another nature. I've um, been sent on a mission of sorts for the Inquisition. I'm hoping
Oh,
that, indeed, I'm hoping that you can provide some information. There's a mysterious figure involved in an explosion that happened yesterday,
oh,
and they were wearing the uh, robes appropriate to my former regiment, the 63rd.
the 63rd.
Yes, which Halakarn took over.
Oh, and he goes, just a second. And you hear him, you see him get on a Vox beat, and he's like, he's asking about the 63rd. Okay, yeah. Um, the 63rd has been redacted.
That is somewhat consistent with my experience. Thank you for confirming that. Um, is there an appropriate channel for researching information that is no longer formally extant?
He's like, we have some records that the Inquisition has not destroyed. He's like going, we have a roster and a list of who came back.
I'd be
Uh,
interested to see if I'm on that list.
oh, of course. He's like, come back here. So takes you back. You go through a vault door, scans it in and everything, and then he's got a retinal scan. So you go back and go down into this down underneath the building, and they've got this large binder. So it's like the electronic record was completely wiped out. So now it's just the paper record that they have for you, and he kind of sets it down. He's like, a lot of it's blacked out.
I understand. Do you immediately recognize the 63rd when I mentioned it? It's do you under is are you permitted to explain why the redaction was ordered?
From what I understand now, you understand this was not, I was not the one that did it or anything. I wasn't involved. They were involved in a fight against a Xenos, and they found something that they should not have found. And it was safer to kill the people that were still there than to let that be discovered.
I see. That's very grave indeed. Um, I appreciate your responsiveness when matters are of such considerable import and security.
It's a cruel necessity.
Yeah. The emperor is wise in all things. Um, does these paper records, will they have any information about um, injuries that troops survived?
Uh, of the ones that did leave before the discovery, yes.
And I suppose this is alphabetical, and I should just
Hmm.
does someone need to formally keep an eye on me so that I don't do something stupid with this material, or
Oh
can you
no,
go about your business?
if you destroy this material, it'll be perfectly fine. It should have been destroyed already, but we haven't gotten the paperwork officially back from the administratum to be able to shred this paperwork and then burn it.
I'm fortunate in my timing then. Thanks for your assistance. And now, what is the equivalent of library use?
That would be logic investigation.
Yeah. And the plus one that has been the cooperation that I've gotten so far, or is that?
Nope, no, you can apply that to any role dealing with this.
Well, I'm going to have to spend fate to get rid
Okay.
of that 79 over 25.
Ouch. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that a reroll?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
52. Can I switch the numbers? What's the
Yeah. If you spend, we'll say, yeah, we'll give you advantage on that. Yeah, because kind of want you to get in there and find it and everything. So yeah, we'll say you switch the number, so that turns out to 25, and then with your plus one SL, good on that. So
Okay.
what you find in there, you see the the list of the people that were part of it, and then this takes you hours of cross referencing
Yeah.
and everything. You see that there's an entire unit of about 30 people that were marked as deployed to the battle that you took part in, but you were pulled out of there earlier than they were, and they're completely Z'd out, so they're all their names are Z'd out and all, and but you do see that there is one of them that was actually from this planet, uh,
Oh,
and it was a Silvanto Triste is the person's name that was sent there, but then there's no record of them coming out of there or of dying.
right. Uh, and none of the people that were in that unit are people that I knew personally.
No,
I was just in a different unit. We were,
yeah.
siloed. Um, does it say anything interesting about me?
Says that you served, you deployed in there, and that they plan to activate you again to go across the sector in case the Tyranids show up there, which are the space bugs. Think Starship
Something to look
Troopers.
forward to.
Yeah.
Um, all right. I will. Do we have a meeting place? Have we
You
got a
guys had
clubhouse?
you guys had like a little trailer, box
Right.
trailer that you were staying in.
Right.
But
Well, I'll.
that's up quite a few levels, isn't it?
It is, yeah, yeah. But the Inquisition does have safe houses, for lack of a better term, throughout the levels. So you guys will say that you guys know where that is. The Inquisitor Harlequin would have told you where that was.
Good. Well, I'm sure some people's research has gone quicker than this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bleary stained, and we'll go back and report.
Okay. All right, Eidolon. So so you go. You went there with Sister Helza and Cassian, but when they went to go inspect the arm and everything, you were kind of keeping an eye out for people with a scarred hand, right?
Yeah.
Uh, yep. After a little bit of time, you notice a couple of them uh, walking together, and all. It looks like maybe they'd had a couple of drinks, and they're walking away from. They weren't at the site of the miracle, but they're passing by it, and they look over there. They kind of chuckle a bit, but
Okay. I'm going to take them as the ones I'm going to follow, see where they end up, where they go.
all right, okay. Well, we will get. I will give them an awareness, and you give me a stealth move silent.
Okay.
Ooh, I got a -2, so as long as you can beat that.
I've got a 41 on 50.
So +1.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're able to fall in. So they kind of go down, you know, through the streets. And you see, and for a moment, you think they're walking toward the cathedral. Then they, when instead of taking a left, which would have taken up to the entrance of the cathedral, they kind of go circle around it. Well, they get to this place where it looks like a building's fallen down, just from disrepair, like a lot of the stuff in these lower levels are. But there's a big industrial fan, a venting fan there. They come up to it, and you see they kind of reach up and they wiggle one of the wires, and the fan stops turning. And they crawl through where the blades are. When they get on the other side, they kind of hit it, and it gets the fan spinning again.
Okay. I assume this fan's, is it loud enough that after a few minutes I replicated that they would notice that it stopped working?
It is a decent loudness, yeah. So
Okay. Do I see any other points of entry or where I can look in and see anything?
no, you do not.
Okay.
No.
Well, I'm gonna wait around for a little
Mhm.
bit. Um, and then, I mean, sneaking is what I'm good at. So
Yeah.
I think I'm going to shut the fan off, get in as quick as I can, and, you know, dissolve
Okay.
into the shadows.
All right. Yeah. When you get in there, you get the fan. Do you start the fan back up?
Yes.
Yeah. So you do you find yourself you're in kind of like it extends out for maybe a couple meters, and then you see it kind of goes at this slope down. You know,
Okay.
but
Then
there's
I
lots of
am,
like wreckage and stuff that you can easily move from shadow to shadow.
yeah, I am quietly making my way down the path. Do
Okay.
I hear voices or anything like there's a crowd or?
No,
Okay.
no, no.
Okay.
All right. So you're going along, and you kind of working your way down there, and just give me a logic evaluation.
Okay. Ooh, that is a 31 on a 35.
Okay. You are reasonably sure that you've gotten yourself underneath the cathedral. That's
Okay.
where it's kind of led you to. And as you look around, you can see that there's some parts of it where, out everything's really kind of dusty except where people were walking. You see up kind of on the ceiling, which would be the underfloor of the cathedral, you can see some spots where it's been cleaned off, and it looks like someone has done a little bit of shoddy concrete work.
Okay. So like they've put hose in the ceiling floor and gone in, or does the concrete work look like permanent or like they could easily like, you know, not
It looks
necessarily
like,
blow it up.
yeah, you could easily knock it down and
Okay.
stuff. It'd be
So-
like they use quickcrete instead
Yeah.
of like a decent
Okay.
concrete.
So they've made themselves quick entry points. Then.
Well, they're
Then-
not that big of a concrete area.
Oh, not that big. Okay.
No,
Okay.
maybe like as big as your head.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Um, is there anywhere further to go, or is
Yeah,
this kind of okay?
it keeps going on.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep kind of going on. I really want to see where this couple end up at.
Okay, and we'll come back to that then.
Okay.
All right, so Sister Helza and Cassium, you guys approach the site of the miracle, and you can see there are some Imperial citizens that are there. They're kind of look like they're, you know, what people would do when they gather around a shrine and all. They're kind of like, oh, you know, praise be the Emperor and all, but they still aren't going in because there is still like, you know, police tape somewhere around.
I follow all of the religious protocols for approaching a sacred spot, but I ignore the police tape.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm going to be asked, I'm going to say I'm helping the Archdeacon investigate.
Yeah, and you're dressed like a sister of the
Right.
Imperial cult, so they won't bother you. Might bother Cassium if he tried to come in, but
If we play more of this, I'm going to come up with some elaborate.
oh, that'd be awesome.
Well, I need to come in. I'm going to identify the arm. So yes, I'm going to stay right on her heel.
Okay. All right. So as you come in, you know, another one of the sisters, she comes up. She's like, sister. She's like, oh, devotees of the Omnissiah, we were under strict guidance not to let you in.
That's all right. I'll bring it over to you. I'm helping the Archdeacon investigate this miracle,
Of
and
course.
we need to examine the arm.
Oh, yes. The arm is over there. The Archdeacon's moved it out of the site of the miracle. He didn't want to despoil that.
Excellent. All praise to the God Emperor. And
Praise to the Emperor.
I will then take Calibus around the perimeter of the holy site. And here it is.
Okay.
I guess they're not considering it holy at all, so you can pick it up and do whatever you want with it.
I will
You
examine
can take
the
it back.
arm.
Yeah. So when you
Cool.
look at it, you know exactly where to look. So there's a serial number on it. So, you know, just how they can identify murder victims from breast implants, you know, you've got a serial number on here, which is, of course, going to be in the databases of the Adeptus Mechanicus is going to be tied to whose this was originally installed on.
Aha.
Does it also look like the arm was torn off, or that it
No.
was perfectly sliced
Perfectly.
right through the circuitry, right through, not at a joint, but just right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And a clean face of
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, some sort of suddenly he was on the outside and it's sliced.
Yeah.
Can we tell if the arm was reaching by the angle of the cut, or if it was down lower and it cut, or up? It cut.
Uh,
Fist, anything like that?
I was since the way you ask it, I'll give it to you. It was you looks like they were reaching, you know,
Reaching.
right in. Yeah. Mhm.
Ah,
They were reaching for the
Fascinating.
saint, and the God Emperor sliced it off and saved the saint. Well, we can bring this back with us. Maybe there's more that it can tell us that we don't see yet.
yes.
You have the serial number.
Yes.
And if you remember, the Adeptus Mechanicus has a building right next door.
In fact, it's the year 40,000. I don't know if they have wireless networks, but
Oh,
we could probably just look it up.
Mhm. Okay.
Well, and there's some, I guess, isn't there some technology to taboos?
There
They don't
That's
are.
want
perhaps
AI.
perhaps that
so-
is one of them. Who knows? So we'll go next door and we'll use their computer. Maybe they have a
All right.
protected network or something.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So when you come in, the Adeptus Mechanicus guy, Epsilon, he greets you again. He's like going, is she okay to enter in? Is she
Yes,
accepting of the truth?
she's helping me with my investigation.
Run an investigation. I promise I won't touch anything.
Ah, thank you. So when you come in, sister, you're just immediately assaulted with how loud all the machineries are. You can see lots of parts being created. Any body part that you could imagine is being made up again, is being created here to be replace the flesh.
It's a beautiful
boy.
cacophony, is it not, Sister Scorn?
Not particularly to me, but please.
So, so he goes, yes, the serial number. We'll be able to look this up. If this was installed on planet, it should not take long. If it was installed on sector, we might have to reach back to the Macarian offices to have it. But maybe we'll get lucky. And so he goes over to a workstation. He types it in. He goes, this was installed on Arbiter Novum Zau was the who this is registered with. There's no record of him losing it, so unless someone took it from him illegally, then it should have still been installed on him when we may assume he passed.
Wouldn't he have reported it missing?
Of course he would have. Yes. He's like going, we can make those ears better. We have augmentations.
How long ago was it installed?
Oh, it was installed a 2 tera years ago. So,
Okay. All right. I will thank him.
mhm.
And
That's
I guess
very helpful. Thank you.
Yes. Imagine, Sister Scorn, whole planets filled with factories just like this one.
No, thank you. I've had my coffee for the day.
Okay.
Uh,
So when you come out, of course, your ears are going to have like that when you leave a concert, that kind of like
yeah.
in the background.
Oh my goodness. So who is Novum Zau? Do we know this name?
Uh, they said it was the arbiter, the policeman, was who
Oh,
that was registered to.
did they indicate that he was dead?
They assumed he was because someone should have if he wasn't and he lost his arm. You're supposed
Okay.
to report that to the Adeptus Mechanicus so they can track what's happening to their holy item.
All right. So we know that this was the Arbiter. He was following the other person who apparently Kali Tannerin knows, or is at least familiar with. They were in the same company. Let's go back and do you want to keep that as a part of his evidence, or
Oh, yes.
I don't know.
Maybe you could get it installed on like a third arm, like a Dr.
Yeah.
Octopus arm. And,
This could
Back
definitely
scratcher.
find a new and thankful owner.
Yeah, so we'll head back to the group.
and
Oh, and did we detect radiation?
yes,
So it was a neutron bomb or whatever you said,
Yeah. a melta bomb.
melt bomb.
Okay, all right. Wilkes, were you wanting to do anything before you head back to the safe house?
I think regrouping is a good thing first.
Okay, so you do that. And Kali?
Yeah, I think I probably took the longest. But I assume we've also voxed each other about the basic
Yeah,
things and
yeah. Your boxes definitely can reach. Okay, all right. So we will cut over to Eidolon then as he presses on underneath the cathedral. So as you move along, you know that you're probably about where the entrance steps of the cathedral would be, and you start hearing a lot of machinery work and all up ahead, and there's a green kind of a light glowing around a corner.
Okay. Um, well, I'm going to sneak up and peek around that corner to see, what's emitting the light.
Okay. So when you kind of peek around the corner, you see a man. He's got you think it's a man. He's got a robe on. You recognize it from the video and all. He's got a lot of augmentics piled up onto a table, and he's looks like he's working on it. He's got a couple of mechadendrites of Dr. Octopus arms coming out of his back, and but when you look, you can also see that on the back of his neck, it looks like there's a mouth on the back of his neck that's constantly kind of like licking his ear and everything. And it's a little disturbing, we'll say. We'll say, 'cause you probably haven't seen those severe mutations before, which of course are not allowed in the Imperium. People that mutate or are born not, they should be taken care of. But you can give me just seeing that, you can give me a disciplined fear to kind of not gasp.
Um, I am going to spend a fate to re-roll that 92.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, 26 is much better, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you seeing that weird mouth like licking the back of his head under behind his ears and everything, you're like, ugh, all. I but you don't really understand what he's working on. He seems like he's constantly making adjustments to it and all, which changing technology without the approval of the Adeptus Mechanicus is highly illegal.
Is there anyone else in this room?
Nope.
Okay, well, this guy obviously has to die, so I'm going to pull out my auto pistol, which is silenced.
Okay.
Creep. How far am I from him?
We'll say 10 yards.
Okay. Um, that's close enough, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna put one right in the. You know what? I'm gonna put one right in that mouth.
All right. Give
So
me a range shot.
okay. This feels important enough that I'm gonna burn a fate
Oh, okay.
and pick my. So I'm gonna go from max of 3 down to max of 2, right?
Oh, yeah. Yes, that is correct.
And I'm gonna choose my result. Which 11 would be like really good, right?
11 is the best result because it's a critical and everything else. So,
Yeah. So that feels about right. So we are gonna send a bullet into his back mouth and
Okay.
hopefully blow out his front mouth.
Okay. All right. I love that you spent the fate and everything. When
Okay.
you shoot it, uh, the is it what kind of weapon is it? It's an
It's an
auto pistol.
auto
Okay,
pistol.
so yeah, so it's an actual. It's not a las gun. So the bullet comes out and it hits, and right about maybe a foot or so away from it, it hits something, and you see like this flash of just like a circular, like a force field is probably the easiest way to put it. You recognize that that's probably about the size of the miracle, also, and
Okay.
the bullet kind of hits it, and it flickers a bit because you did get a crit, so he
Yeah.
kind of flickers it a bit and all, and he kind of jumps, and then he slowly turns around, and on one of his Doctor Octopus things, you see it's got like a las cutter on it and everything. And he smiles with the two mouths on his face also,
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, uh, but he doesn't say anything. He just
Yeah.
kind of looks at you, and then he reaches behind him. You see him picking up a gun himself.
I would like to be running,
Okay,
and
yeah.
also wondering what someone with two mouths sound like when they talk at the same time. But
Right, yeah, yeah. So you take off running and all, and he comes around, and I'm gonna have him get one shot at you, but
okay, I deserve it.
oh, 98. Yeah, apparently he wasn't taking it too seriously. So he fires away, and just kind of you hear some concrete melting where the laser blast hits it as you go running out of there. You know,
Okay,
you know.
so um, since my crit failed, can I ask about that? Whenever it hit and shimmered, do I get the
Hmm.
impression that if I fired a second shot, like right after it, that one would get through?
No.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's good. I just as much information as I could get for the future. But yeah, I
Yeah.
am. I am hightailing it to the safe house.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we'll say eventually you guys trickle back into the Inquisition safe house down here on this level.
The arbiter's name was Novan Sal, and he is missing, and this is definitely his arm. And he was reaching for Fellow. So he must have been fairly close to the Fellow when the force field sliced through his arm.
It's uncanny, Calibus, how accurately you described that. Is there something we should know?
Only that I am inspired by the great Adeptus himself.
Well, uh, given Eidolon's description of my former comrade in arms, something indeed very terrible was discovered that mustn't, that certainly is not part of the Emperor's will. Um, so the redacted name was Sylvanta Triest. He's perhaps the only one of the troop that survived uncovering some artifact that did whatever has been done to him.
Sort of mutation.
I mean, three mouths that you saw, who knows how many more there are.
Not simple radiation either. That would have simply killed him eventually. And we did detect radiation at the site.
Yeah,
Biological agent?
it seems clear that Triest is probably not a saint, and we can report that to the next cherub we see. But I believe it's also our responsibility to eliminate him, given that he sounds like he's not only committing innumerable crimes, but plans to blow up the cathedral.
If it's the same person.
Same
I
outfit,
agree.
same tunnel.
Yeah, same mechanical legs. If I saw, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree
More than
with
likely
Miss
the same
Tannerin. I think we
An
have a
enemy.
security problem.
An enemy of the so-called Burning Seraph, perhaps. Someone who sees the miracle and then wants to destroy it.
Again, the question of motivation.
What
Because
took
he's evil. All mutants are evil.
well,
Party line says so.
I mean,
I
in
don't-
the service of Empire, he was sent into a battle where this happened to him. But yes, now it seems as though he's thoroughly corrupted, certainly.
Perhaps corrupted is a better word than evil.
Corruption.
The problem is we don't know how to turn off this force field. Our job was to eliminate this thing if it's not a saint, having determined that it's not a saint, but Eidolon made a valiant effort to eliminate it.
He has
And it,
proven a few times difficult to kill.
given that it
Power.
given that it seems to have set off a melta bomb near itself, destroying an acid refinery, already an extremely toxic environment, and walked out unscathed. I don't. We have to find out what powers it, or I mean, is this an alien technology? Is this something the Inquisition might know?
It seems likely that it draws a lot of power and may have only a short lifespan.
So, whenever the bubble appeared, did the Dr. Octopus arms, were they inside it or were they able to come through the bubble?
They were able to come through it.
Okay. So there's something can penetrate it at least.
Well, we know the arm
Because most likely it needs to breathe, and it can't simply cut itself completely off from the universe around it. So what if we take that as an advantage? What if we find a way to envelop it? We don't need to shoot it or injure it. It's suffocated.
What about a gas or chemical attack rather than something physical?
Well, he might be able to
explosion
stop he might be able to stop the chemical for a while, but if we stop the oxygen for permanent, he will eventually run out and die.
I was thinking the fact that an explosion didn't work, a bullet bounced off it, a biological agent might be something that would still pass through this barrier and be able to be able to attack it. Yes.
Because he has to eat, probably, at least if he's a life form, he has to consume.
It seems mouths are one of his favorite things, in fact.
Also, the poisoned apple.
Eidolon is now wondering how many of those mouths are used for eating when it's dinner time.
It sounds like it's intelligent because obviously it turned and grabbed a weapon and fired at you. So his mind isn't completely gone.
It's engaging in technology. I wonder if Eidolon's visit caused it to leave whatever it was up to, or whether it's still tinkering around down there.
I'm hoping it didn't accelerate its plans, which I would assume it's waiting for this, ceremony. But
yes, in 2 days.
Yes.
I'm wondering if perhaps it was an accident. If Novenzau reached for him and it triggered the self-defense, but the self-defense itself set off the explosion.
Could be a proximity alarm, which that kind of feeds into what I was thinking. If this thing does have a short lifespan with its battery, why did he just so happen to have the armor turned on or the force field turned on when he thought he was alone? And then just when the bullet got close enough, then the shield activated. That made more sense. A bit like the arm. When the arm got too close, then it kicked off. But the arm maybe being slower, maybe the slow arm penetrates the shield.
Possibly. In any case, we have to stop this thing. I need to go report to the Archdeacon that the one who left is actually a mutant.
Disappointing. People were hoping for a saint.
Well, they still have the Seraphim, so we'll see.
You followed two scarred hands down to this labyrinth, and you didn't see them after you saw our former saint, our anti-saint.
Yeah,
I wonder if we should grab a couple of scarred hands and convince them to explain to us what their master is up to.
The chop shop could be useful there.
Yeah, that found people willing to express things.
Yeah.
The ones you followed were inebriated. Uh, they seem to lurk around. Are they lurking around the bomb site for a particular reason? And they were chuckling, right? They walked past and chuckled, like,
Yeah. Yeah, they chuckled as they walked past. I mean, I would think they would probably want people just kind of in the area now and then just to make sure nothing's being uncovered accidentally during the investigation. So I imagine we'll see more pass through there.
If they were inebriated, is there a bar nearby that they could have come from?
Yeah, there are bars.
let's drop by their unsavory watering hole and take a couple of them to converse.
And I shall go speak to the archbishop or the archdeacon.
Excellent. Okay. All right. Who's going to the bar?
I'm going to the bar.
Yeah, I think that's Eidolon and me,
Yeah.
muscle and brains.
All right. Okay. And then Sister Hilza is going to go speak to Archdeacon
Inform him of
Argosy.
the information that we've acquired so far.
And what were Wilkes and Cassian going to do?
Oh, I would like to ask Wilkes also if there's any other information about Sylvanta Treese that might be useful. Maybe there's something in its background that will help explain.
I can follow that up with the administratum because I had a light bulb suddenly went on and thought, why didn't I ask that earlier? So I'm going to go back to them and pester them directly on their doorstep. So I'll wrap that question in there as well.
Okay. And Cassian?
I think I'll go along with Sister Hilza.
Okay. All right. I like the you two guys hanging out together since you all right. So we'll do Wilkes first. So you go back to the data site. Okay. And same person's there and they're like oh, back again.
Indeed, the never-ending flow of information is always demanding.
Very good.
Right, I have a couple of names. I wonder if you could pull up some details on. First one being Novum Zhao.
Okay. He is he was an arbiter. They believe he was near the acid refinery explosion.
He was.
Oh, well, I will mark that. I'll check that box as dead. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I'll stop his pay.
Yeah, there's no point paying a dead man. Is there anything detailed about maybe cases that he was working on or that something he open unresolved issues connected with his file?
We would have to pull that up. That will take a bit of time, but I can put in the request forms to the arbiters and see and get them. Mhm.
Gotcha. And then Triest, so I can't remember the first name.
Silvanto?
Savanta, that's it.
Oh, Silvanto Triest. He was born here in Hogarth. He left planet redacted for what reasons? Um, and apparently, this is interesting. Uh, his ID was scanned, re-entering from void space about a month ago.
Okay, so he's been off world and traveled through the warp.
Oh, I don't know how he was traveling, but he definitely came back. He processed in.
Right. This may be the player thinking of different terms. Void space is that they've
That's
traveled.
that's real. That's real space.
Oh,
What
right,
they call
real
it.
space. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Right. So just that he's been off-world, but there was no
Yeah.
record of him leaving, just returning.
Yeah.
Okay, weird. And the last one regarding the previous scrivener that I pulled up details for.
Mhm.
Do you know her personally?
I've seen her at times. She works at the other shift than me.
Okay. Can you describe her hands?
Oh, well, she must have had an unfortunate accident. I mean, her right hand, is of course, uh, always stained with ink. Her left hand, though, she must have cut it when she was younger. There were some nasty little scars on
I thought there might have been.
it. Mm.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. I think that's everything I'll need. If I need anything else and any other further requests come up, I'll be straight back.
Did you want anything? Did you want that a report from what the arbiter was looking at?
Yep. If you when the file
Yeah.
comes back in
Wait.
through to you, can you forward it to my Vox
Of
for
course.
my data slate?
Of course. Of course. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So, Sister Helza and Cassium, you guys were headed to the cathedral.
Yes.
It's
Uh,
Archdeacon.
Yes.
I
Um,
will, however, ask Calipus to stay out of the inner chambers.
but when you get there, the Archdeacon's coming out, and you see his car is there. He's like, "Oh, sister, how's it going? I have a very exciting meeting. I'm going to go meet with the governor and all, and invite him to come to the ceremony when the Burning Seraph will be here. We hope to have several high VIPs. He's there. Praise be the Emperor for allowing us to do this."
Indeed, and I have a number of friends and comrades that would also enjoy being there to see the Burning Seraph. I think I have information on that, on what happened
Oh well,
at the
hop in the car.
refinery.
Hop in the car with me. Of course, we can't have the governor wait. Tell me, tell me about that.
All
You can
right,
bring your friend with you.
my associate. Yes, okay.
Associate. Yes, yes, that makes much more sense.
Um,
We'll have him sit up front.
there's more machinery up front anyway. So,
Hmm.
um, so I then go through the whole thing. I explain to the archdeacon. I say we've determined that whatever it was may in fact be a mutant. We had as
Oh,
an encounter in the sewers below uh, with an individual who was able to project a kind of force field around him. We think that the I forget what do we call arbiter? Is that the
arbiter. Yep.
place that the
Hmm.
arbiter Novum Zhao was pursuing this mutant?
Hmm.
When he reached for the mutant, the force field came up and sliced off his arm, and perhaps caused the explosion that destroyed the refinery. This thing's able to create a kind of uh, invincible barrier. It was fired at a number of times with a gun, and it had no effect whatsoever on it. So
Hmm.
we are currently investigating further and intend to destroy it if we can capture it.
All right. When you tell him all that, you kind of see a little bit of a annoyance come across his face and all. So I'm going to have you give me a rapport charm, but at a -10.
So my report, let's look at it on the screen. A rapport.
Now you do get a +1 SL because you are dealing with the Ministorum, so which you have a +1
So
in. But yeah,
it's
that's all.
40, and you said -10?
Yeah, because he
So
doesn't
30.
want this to be true.
Okay, so 30. And I got 36.
Okay, but remember, you get a +1 with your SL for dealing with the Ministorum, so that does push you to a success because 30 and
Okay.
you got a 36, that's a -0, but with the +1, that puts you at a positive. So he kind of sits back with that. He's like,
So I know this might upset you, but I know that you also want to know the truth.
"It is. It's like this is bad. This was how we were going to. I was going to show that. You're the person's name. That that Hex Sigma Numenon, who Cassian, you know, that's the leader of the machine cult here on planet. I was going to show
Okay.
him the error of his ways by showing him a real saint, and now you say that it's not. You know,
But it is a threat to both our group and their group. This is a vile demonic mutant.
yes, yeah. He's like, he kind of, he sighed like I did, and he's like, I will inform the governor that he probably should not attend the ceremony. If you could
Well,
handle this quietly.
with your permission, we could. Sorry, that's exactly what I was going to say. We can keep this under wraps. We can take care of the problem and simply not mention it again.
Yes, I think that would be best. I will burn the records.
You are wise.
Mhm. Driver, take me back to the cathedral, please. You
Well, you still need to meet with the governor, you know.
yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah,
You just
he'll
let us
drop
out here.
he'll drop you off, and then yeah, he'll
We'll make
go.
our way back. We didn't get
Yeah,
very far.
yeah, no, okay, yeah, good roll, good roll. All right, okay, Kali and Eidolon, guys. You find the after kind of watching, Eidolon knows what to look for. The people with the scarred hands, he's really good at observing things. So you see a lot of them going in and out of. Looks just like a the trailer on a semi trailer. It's kind of just dropped there, but it's got like a painted onto it the Claymore bar, and so the doors are open and people were just going in to have a seat. It's a horrible fire trap because there's no emergency exits or anything, but no one cares anymore. And you see several people in there drinking their cares away.
So, Eidolon, the approach I assume is that we go in, we buy a couple of reprobates drinks who already look like they're half tanked, and then we suggest that they join us on a pub crawl and we drag them into an alley and present them with their opportunities.
I think that would be very effective.
Yeah, I'm usually more direct, so I'll let you take the lead.
Yeah. So yeah, find a one or maybe probably just one would be better. Drinking alone, maybe. With a
Okay.
scarred hand.
Yeah.
Start
Okay.
buying drinks.
Yeah. So it's a woman that's by herself, and
Okay.
you're buying drinks, and she looks when you she's like, oh, well, thank you. I not not familiar with you. She's like, Magda Jorgensen, and you are.
Um, oh my goodness. I'm Eidolon.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
just
it's charming to meet you.
you
Oh,
as well.
and what brings you here?
Well,
Drink
yeah,
and forgetfulness.
Ah, yes, yeah. The tedium of work can be difficult. I myself have to work in the data mill hours on end. moving moving documents from one inbox to the outbox.
Necessary work, but not the most captivating.
No, no.
Another drink.
Another drink, yeah. So you guys kind of make small talk for a while, you know, and
Is there a way to, again, this is sort of Eidolon's territory, but I have a little bit of uh, mental, what is it? I mean, I have, well, so is there a standard way to like sarcastically say to the emperor that other dissidents will recognize?
oh yes. The standard curse is throne. You know, that's kind of like saying "God damn." Here it's like throne because he's encased on the golden throne. So,
Mhm.
mhm.
Right. So, second drink, I'll say to the throne. Let's
It's
see if I
like
get.
and a lot of people they kind of look up and they go to the throne.
It's the den of iniquity. Um, so, two drinks and we'll suggest a stroll.
I think so, yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So after a couple drinks,
Yeah.
uh, madam, we were thinking of hitting another establishment down the way, if you would like to
Oh,
join us.
well, possibly. Give me a rapport charm, but since she's been drinking, I'll give you a plus 40 to your skill.
Okay. 52, which that's a success with the plus 40.
Okay.
So.
All right. Yeah. So she's like going, yes, let's go have another drink. The Claymore's bored me. Let's go to the Zweinhander.
Lead the way.
Yes, please.
She gets up and she's like, "Oh, see you tomorrow, gents." Gets up and walks out, and they kind of chuckle when they see the two of you go out with her and all. So, she's walking along, and she's going to head in the direction of the Zweinhander unless you do something else.
I
First
am,
likely alley, I think.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
And,
watching to make sure we're unnoticed and
yeah.
then
With
just give her a bump into the alley.
okay. Yeah. And so you kind of knock her into the alley. I mean, and she goes, "Hey, whoa, what is this?" Just slurring her words a little bit at all.
Ms. Jorgensen, we just have a couple of important questions for you, and it's really, I know that you've been enjoying yourself, but you really have to take a moment to think clearly. And I'll like present a weapon in a not immediately threatening, but
Mhm.
palpably present way.
Yeah, and
Right.
I think Adelon was almost disguised in the bar as a
Mhm.
sort of social person. I think there is almost a visible like changing of like demeanor and everything, almost like he slipped out of a disguise and it's just
Right.
a different person standing there.
Okay. Yeah. So she kind of backs up and she's like, "Going, look, all my money goes to my hab and to drinks. That's I don't have any money. I don't have any solars."
We are not interested in your money or your person. We are interested in what you know about the injury to your hand, the plans for the cathedral, and um, why you left work without signing out. What you've been doing with the paperwork instead of the inbox and the outbox.
All right, give me a intimidate. Presence intimidation, but you have her kind of on her back foot, so I'll give you a plus 40 on that one also. that you're going to be?
16 is a
Oh,
low, yeah, under 70. So
yeah. Okay. Oh, that's +6. So you can add to the story with the +6. What would you like to
mm.
kind of with that strong of a success?
Oh, she's overheard something so that she knows more about the plot than a
Okay.
regular cultist or whatever.
All right. So she's like going, look, I was just supposed to, you know, make sure that the people that were turning into suicide bombers, essentially, that they weren't being tracked. We're putting they're going to blow the entrance with the people with the bomb so they can't get out, and they're going to blow the whole cathedral up. They're going to cut the head off of this whole corrupt system. She's like it's rotten from the core. Look, look, I'm telling you the truth. It's what's right. We're true believers.
Can do the Vox beads allow you to broadcast what to other
Yeah.
carriers?
Hmm.
So I think once she starts really blabbing, I want to turn that on so that everybody's getting the urgency of the situation in real
Right.
time.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that's a very elaborate plan. I guess the mastermind of this must be somebody of unusual intelligence.
He is. He is. He's seen things that they won't tell us about. He's seen the truth. He's seen the Lord of Change.
Eidolon, have you heard of this Lord of Change?
Have I heard of this Lord of Change?
No, neither one of
No.
you would.
Okay.
It's interesting. I fought alongside him in the 63, but the Lord of Change didn't give me one of those magic bubbles. How the hell does that thing work?
You were there.
I was
You were
not there at the end.
like from. And she kind of looks around. She's like, from what I understand, he's like going, he was tortured beyond all anything that a human can say. And in his pleas for help, he was answered. He was answered by something from beyond, and that they changed him. They changed him into the holy man that he is now. They presented him with technology from an ancient civilization. It's like going, don't you see? He's chosen. He's chosen to fix things. After after Hokarth, he'll be Voll, and then and the Macarian sector, and then we'll go to Terra itself and blow up the Golden Throne.
Yeah, Eidolon, do you want to make it painless?
I think just the auto pistol comes out and just one
Yeah,
right in the forehead.
yeah, I have to roll. So
Yeah. Okay. So that's a lot. So technology, I mean, it's good that we know it's technology and not some sort of supernatural power at work.
Yeah, I don't know that we're any closer to disabling it, but uh, yeah, we know that the impression we had of the timing is accurate, and that there's going to be a huge body count if this goes forward.
Definitely.
Uh, Full on inter-system revolution this guy's planning with his multiple mouths. Well, at least it'll make the paperwork cleaner over there. She won't be messing up the roster any longer.
Yeah.
right. All right, so what's everyone else doing? Cassium, that was on an open channel when you heard that, hey, alien technology, that is like candy to the Mechanicus.
So we both heard the.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing is everybody heard it. So
yeah. I know.
now it's yeah. I mean, I think the best thing I can do to serve myself is actually to work with the other members of the group. So at least for now.
Eidolon,
But
you said you saw places where things had been sealed up in the wall. Explosives, then.
Most likely to blow the floor out, the floor of the cathedral out.
Very difficult to find them all like that. Oh.
But look, the technology must have limitations, otherwise they'd be marching on the Golden Throne right now. We just have to find out what they are.
I'm trying to formulate a way that we can get everyone to safety. If perhaps I can convince the Archdeacon that he needs to hold the ceremony in a different location than the cathedral.
What is the nature of the ceremony?
Oh,
Is this a movable feast, or I mean, they're not announcing the presence of a new saint because we found out that he's a revolutionary mutant. So
it's the revelation of the Burning Seraph, I suppose.
Right.
Every day they have worship service in there.
What is the relationship between Silvanto Triest and the Burning Seraph? Are we dealing with distinct and separate circumstances, or are they, in fact...
The Archdeacon seemed to know a great deal about this Burning Seraph, even to the day that it would appear again. So I don't know. And it supposedly has shown up before.
My guess is this is all a ploy so that this thing is exactly what they want. That say this is a miracle of the Emperor. Gather the governor here, blow him up, take off the head of the system or the planetary government. Anarchy reigns. That this is purely a ploy.
I'm wondering if I could pardon my old Earth vulgar terminology, if I could fuck with the plumbing and get the cathedral to flood, and they would have to postpone it.
Do it as an open air ceremony outside rather than indoors.
That's what I would suggest. They'd have to do it outside.
Well, they still have people who are bearing explosives and don't know it, apparently.
Yeah, the suicide bombers.
The unwitting suicide bombers that she was taking off of the roster. We might reduce the fatalities significantly, but
I'm not sure when the Archdeacon is coming back. He's out with the governor tonight.
We have that list of names. How about we just pass that off to the local authorities? So pass that off to the arbiters to say, look, these guys are walking bombs. Deal with them before they turn up to the cathedral tomorrow. And have a whole bunch of arbiters turn up to their residences. Sure, we might lose a few arbiters when they decide to go click and blow themselves up, but it's better them than they're taking out the goddamn governor.
That's what their job is.
Yeah.
I wonder if I could travel quickly to the governor's residence. I'm sure that's where they are. Anyways, I know my job. I need to make sure that everything is postponed or moved or...
All of us, though, need to figure out, the problem we all have to solve is that we have to find a way to kill this unkillable figure with his mouths, because he's going to continue running around fomenting revolution if he's not eliminated, and he's made himself very hard to eliminate.
Well,
we can put a request up the chain to the Inquisition to say this is what we're up against. Have you got any information in your secret archives as to what the hell we can do to get around this thing?
Oh, it's true. When they redacted whatever he discovered, they knew something about what he discovered.
But someone has to know something.
at the very least, suffocation or, you know, entrapping him in something he can't get out of.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
That
thought if he was sealed in molten metal, that would be an impediment. If the heat doesn't get him, the suffocation will.
The heat didn't get him though when he was in the middle of a factory that blew up.
that's true.
Right. But
I'm
the,
I'm
And
imagining
the
I'm
arm was
imagining
made of metal as well, and that
as
didn't
Calibus. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
survive. Yeah, the arm was made of metal and it didn't survive either.
I'm thinking Calibus, perhaps the energy draw of whatever this armor is momentary. It can survive a tremendous blast of the thing, but it's not always at that level. It's that level in the few moments that it needs to be. But when he was downstairs doing whatever he was doing, it wasn't at full level until your bullet crossed the barrier, then it was repelled like a
Was it
colloid liquid.
was it repelled, disintegrated? What happened to the bullet?
Did it ricochet?
Yeah, Eidolon didn't really. It just kind
Stay
of
right.
like stopped, and then next thing you knew, the guy was reaching for a gun. So he didn't have a great time to kind of.
Which only leads me to believe that he can only have a limited supply of oxygen until he runs out of whatever he's breathing. So seals him in. He can't walk through walls.
Dropping a cathedral on his head might help then.
Yes, but this particular cathedral is 370 years old. It's a work of art.
Maybe he can walk through walls. We don't know.
Well, then we're
Oh,
kind of once again fucked. But if he falls in a pit, he can't climb out.
Mhm.
Maybe we could find the basis of this technology if we could find where he got it from.
It could be short circuited. If that's something on the Inquisition and see what they say.
that's
Though
definitely
there's
a
a danger.
fire up the pole.
There is a danger. If they have to tell you certain secrets in order for us to succeed, then we become a liability and they might have to eliminate us. If we can solve it ourselves, then we can keep our mouths shut.
if in the Emperor's wisdom we need to be eliminated, we need to be eliminated. The Emperor is all wise, sister.
Yes, but seeking martyrdom is not a good thing.
Tell that to the 63rd Regiment.
All right. Oh, sounds like Sister Hells is going to try and
I've got to alert
yeah,
the Archdeacon.
yeah, okay.
I'll catch
What
a
was
hive cav to
yeah, yeah, catch
get more
cabs.
residents.
All right, and we'll come back to that. Then what's the other four going to do?
Well, unfortunately, Adelon is feeling like he has to go back down and, I mean, try to see if he can find anything. So not go down, you know, to assassinate anybody, but other skills of, fact finding, just
Hmm.
any information.
Okay.
I've got something that might help on that because one of the things that we should really do is if this guy has got his base of operations under the cathedral, there must be records about the layout of that place down there. There must be archives to show like the blueprints of the area. So that will at least give you an advantage going down there if you know your terrain.
Yeah. Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. uh, Cassium and Kali. Hey, Kali, you're muted.
I think I'll be going down with or after Eidolon, but I'm not gonna stomp around in my armor and ruin his ability to slink through the shadows.
Yeah.
Gonna base myself somewhere that I can pick off a bunch of possibly explosive laden cultists so that he can do his work.
Okay. Makes sense. And Cassium.
Cassium is an attentive assistant, so he can add a skill level die to something that he's not skilled in. So I think I will help Eidolon.
Okay. All right. All right. Sounds good. Okay, so Wilkes, you put in a request for the blueprints, and yep, as you suspected, there is blueprints of what's under there. And when you and kind of rolling out there with Eidolon, kind of looking at it, Eidolon, you can kind of see, yeah, this is where it is. Obviously, a lot of it is had collapsed when you were under there, but you are able to kind of trace your way. And what you do see is that you must have walked past it, but there is a little gap to the right. You think maybe some rubble had covered it up. There is another little passageway that would kind of take you around where that guy's factory or workshop was.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be taking that way this time.
Okay. All right. All right. So, Sister Helza. So you catch a cab, and they take you to the governor's. Now, of course, you when you get there, of course, they have all this stuff where they ask you a lot of questions. They search you for weapons, and if you have any, they have you checking in. They give you a receipt for it, and before they even let you in, they do check with the archdeacon, to make sure that hey, he does actually know you, and also it's a lot of waiting, but they do get you in, and you can see there when you come in, you see the archdeacon. He's talking to the three other people. You've got you recognize one as the governor, obviously immediately. He's kind of well, he's not kind of. He's very heavy set. He's got some fancy glasses on. He's dressed very fine, better than you've ever seen any clothes anyone's ever worn. You see another person there. She looks kind of very bookish and all. And then the last person is a heavily modified person. He's definitely more machine than man now. And it seems like they're having a somewhat of a heated argument, heated discussion, but the quorum, they're going to keep it very calm voices, not yelling at each other.
I will approach uh, just out of range of hearing, but in a place where Archdeacon will see me waiting
So,
until I am asked to approach.
yeah, as you're listening, you hear the machine man. He's like going, look, it's the admin's fault. They didn't send the workers that were supposed to inspect all the piping that was going through the building. If we had gotten the approval to inspect it ourselves, that building wouldn't have blown up. And then the admin, of course, is pointing the finger right back at it and everything. And then the archdeacon, he looks over and he sees you. He's like, oh. He's like going, I have an associate here that has some information about the incident, as we'll call it now. The sister.
I'll approach and greet each one of them as his brother. Archdeacon, I have additional information, one that concerns all of us and uncovers a terrible plot against the Emperor and others.
Yes.
We have realized that the cathedral has been rigged to be destroyed The floor and parts of it have had, I forget what you call them, neutron bombs,
Melted bombs.
melta bombs, uh, hidden within the walls in the structure. We don't know how many, but the I believe that the acid refinery was perhaps an accident, but that accident has uncovered what this is. I'll tell him, I don't remember all the details
Right.
about, yeah,
Yeah.
that they're ultimately going to try to destroy the golden throne of the emperor.
Hmm.
Uh,
When you, yeah. So when you say that, the governor kind of looks at you and he's like going, He's like going, I could please stop this and capture this thing. I could definitely move up in the Imperium. He's like, this is a wonderful, wonderful find there, Archdeacon. Uh, really, really nice work. He's like going, I'll do, and you get the impression he's like at most politicians, he's going to twist this to his advantage, and that
of
he
course,
discovered it, of course, and all.
as correctly he should.
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
But we have to find a way
Yeah. And he looks at you.
to.
He's like, "What do you need?"
My people are already on trying to stop the thing. Uh, they're hunting for it now. Um, we don't know exactly how to stop it. It seems to have a force shield that protects it, that protected it during the explosion. Um, we know about certain individuals who are probably walking time bombs. We've already got the arbiters looking for them to stop them. And but I think that they need something. So if we can move the celebration to another location and
Of
then
course,
perhaps find a way to diffuse the bombs and not set them off.
of course, we'll move that. He's like, "I'll send some the SWAT team. I can't remember what they're called. This I'll send the SWAT. They'll go in there and help out. They'll bring all their bolt guns and they'll be able to clear out that gang and all." Like, excellent.
And I'm thinking, hopefully this will move me up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Because it's all
All
about
right.
ambition, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. You're not stepping on someone to get higher. You're not doing
Someday I'll be Pope.
right. Okay, so we'll cut to the Wilkes, were you going with them? I can't remember now.
I was going to go and get the blueprints from the administratum,
You
and
already
also
did.
to let the same, if it's the same person on the front desk that I've seen before, tell them they can update the file for the currently missing scrivener to say that you can cancel her paycheck as well.
Oh, of course. He's like, oh no. And she clicks the yes no field for no longer with us.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. All right. So we'll kind of cut ahead and the three Eidolon, Cassium, and Kali, you were going back into the underground.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So since you guys have scouted ahead, Wilkes got you those blueprints and all. So if you get in a fight, you guys have what's called superiority. So once a round, you can decide that you're going to roll with your skill at +10 because you've kind of scouted it out and made some plans and all. It's a nice little system, so it discourages people from just running in and shooting because you don't get your pluses and all. So, all right, so you guys make your way down there and all, and Cassium, you were going in also. You were going with Eidolon, correct? Yep.
Yeah, I can do the help action.
Excellent. And Kali, were you staying up or were you going under?
I think going under, using the blueprints, looking for some place that's close to the workshop
Mm-hmm.
where I can have a sort of defensible position where if reinforcements come in, I can mow them down, sort of thing, or I can go and help in the workshop if we figure out how to actually attack this thing.
Right. No problem. No problem. Okay. Yeah. You can find that without any issue. No. Okay. So, Eidolon and Cassium, you guys go down that actually you have to move some rocks and all, but you get the impression that these were kind of piled up there. You know, it wasn't like this is a forgotten tunnel or anything.
Okay.
Yep, going silently.
Okay. Yep. They move along, and you come down and out, and you hear up ahead like people. Some of them are kind of moaning, but not a pleasurable moan, like more of a in pain, and all, or like they're ill. Uh, it's kind of up ahead, and you know from the blueprints that this is where some of the tombs were that they had put underneath the cathedral.
Yeah, I think sneak up so we can get some eyes on what's happening.
Okay. So when you come up, you see five of the scarred hands. There's one of them there. He's kind of moving along. He's got a lot of augmetics and stuff. He's got four of them. Their stomach is cut open, and you see he's putting bombs inside of them, and they're going. And then but they don't have any drugs except for like alcohol to numb the pain, and that's why people are hanging on just by their pure devotion. But yeah, it's pretty horrific.
So this is still under the cathedral, right?
Yeah, yeah.
I was thinking about early detonation of these. Yeah, I don't think that's a bad idea.
Mhm.
So, I- and I think Cassium would see me. How far away are we? Is this sniper range?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Would see me take the sniper rifle off my back, so probably two and two together to figure out what's about to happen if you needed to interject.
I do not need to interject, and in fact, if possible, I might actually be able to assist
Okay.
So
because
he'll be
I
like
have yeah, I have two advances in ranged attacks, and I
oh,
think
nice.
I think I can actually lend
Okay.
those to you.
So what that will do, that will grant you advantage by having help. We'll say like Cassium's kind of like how snipers they'll have that spotter
Yeah.
that helps them out.
Yeah.
Since you're attacking surprise, you have another advantage, so you get to roll with advantage and a plus 20 to your attack.
Okay.
Don't roll 99.
Yeah,
I got fate. I rolled
Sure.
an 18.
Oh, nice. 18.
that's a
Okay.
lot of
So,
levels.
yeah, it's a lot of levels. You take a shot, and if I understand, you were trying to snipe to blow up the bombs, right?
Yeah, I'm shooting
Okay, yeah.
one of the freshly planted bombs.
Okay, yeah. So you shoot, and you said that's a lot of levels, so we'll just cut right to it. You hit it, and they're not like these great built bombs. So it hits and it blows up, and of course there's chunks everywhere as it blows up inside of him. Then that sets off it's almost like a chain reaction. They all kind of blow up, and the guy that was loading it into the last one, he's able to turn his head just a bit before it explodes and takes all of them out also.
Excellent shot.
It's what I was hoping for.
And Callie, you hear this loud explosion.
Yeah. There's like a spray of red mist.
Yeah.
Yeah, that iron in the air,
Yeah,
iron and machine oil.
brutal.
Yeah,
But
let's see if we get to deal with the unkillable man
yeah.
if he shows up.
All right. Actually, Callie, you hear the steps coming from the direction of where Eilon described the workshop. They're definitely metal hitting the hard ground. and you see coming around the corner, you see the guy that Eidolon described to you. He's wearing robes and everything, and he's walking, and he's walking with a sense of purpose.
Um, uh, he's how many is he? Does he always have a bunch of arm extenders available? How many?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so he's
He's got two mechadendrites, the Doc Ock's arms.
so he's fully sextupedal or whatever at the
Hmm.
moment. Um, I don't have grenades. I would like to try this whole experiment with an explosion and then a second explosion to see if the battery's worn down, but that is not how I'm armed.
Uh,
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I do. I
I
have
was gonna say, I thought
two.
I thought you had frags.
I too have two frag grenades. So I want to send one of them ahead of him and one of them behind him at a distance where I'm not going to catch all that shrapnel.
Okay. Give me a ranged throw. It'll probably just be range because I don't see you with the throw on there.
Right. Oh, yes. And I have actually two advances on range.
Nice.
21 is a sweet under 50.
All right. So, yep, you with that, we'll count that for
22.
both grenades that you threw. And so you kind of though they fly out there, and frag grenades are pretty loud, obviously. they, they explode, and you kind of when it explodes, you can kind of see like the smoke and the dust and everything makes this perfect cylinder around him. And he kind of tilts his head, almost like how a dog gets inquisitive, and he's like he's like, "You'll have to try again, whoever you are." But of course, it's got like two voices at the same time.
Uh, do when you say cylinder,
Oh, so sphere, sphere.
sphere, okay. I was hoping, yeah, cylinder has a top and a bottom. That would be nice.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
I would say at
So,
the sound of the explosion,
yeah.
Adelon is definitely heading back.
Okay, you run in. Cassie, I'm assuming also. All right. So, well, I'll just call him by his name. So Vanto, he starts walking toward where you're at Callie, and he's like going. He's like going, come, you can see the truth. Just listen. He goes, don't you see? This place is all a lie. The ecclesiarchy, they preach propaganda. It's not true. The emperor is dead. He's like the mechanics, they're more worried about stealing from ancient cultures than helping. Like, he just keeps kind of going. He's like, the Lord of Change will be here. He'll appear tomorrow and will bring this place down. He's like, join me or become past.
So, but I'm I'm not going to like rush out. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
whenever I get there, I'm going to look, assess the situation. When I get there, as he's doing this, is he past and
Yeah.
back to me?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so taking in all the information that this metal arm at this site was, severed,
Mm-hmm.
which makes me think possibly the shield's not always up. It detects a threat or something and then activates or whatever. Adeline is fairly confident he's a lot quieter than the cops were. So I am going to sneak up, take my knife, and hopefully not lose my arm, but try to
Okay.
just stab him right in his throat.
I'm going to give you you're gonna, which okay, give me
the
give me a
one The one with the mouth.
Yeah, give me a stealth move silently.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll against his awareness. Ooh.
So I guess a specialization of hide is not stealth, right? It's
Yeah,
got the stealth skill.
his stealth skill, but yeah, that's
Okay.
not moving.
All right. That's what I figured. Just wanted to make sure. So I'm giving you a stealth roll. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, because I am who I am, I'm gonna burn another fate.
I love it. Yeah,
And
might as well.
you know what? I'm gonna take the 11 again.
Okay. All right. And burning a fate, you automatically win the opposed test by burning a fate. So
Okay.
yeah, which is good because I rolled really well. So all right, so you come in there and you stab. He doesn't know you're there, so make your melee attack with advantage.
Okay. Is that just my knife skill to
Yeah,
okay.
should be.
That's a 50, so advantage means I can switch them.
Yep,
So that's an O5 then.
oh five. So that's a plus
Yeah.
4. All right, so your knife it does 2 plus SL, so that's 6 damage. So you go through, you stab into him, and he definitely reacts to that. And he is awful screaming coming out of the three mouths and all.
But
Okay.
not dead. So I'm probably
Not
trapped
dead.
in this.
No, you didn't
I'm
do enough
trapped in
to
this
kill him.
bubble, probably.
No, it's weird because like you go through, and like you didn't even feel any like resistance when you stab through it. Okay.
Ah, okay.
All right. So Cassian, you're up.
I'm honestly not sure what to do. I sort of don't think the laser pistol is going to work. I think I'm just going to stay back and watch for a second until I can think of something that might help.
Okay. And then we'll do Callie, and then it will take its turn.
Yeah, I don't really want to come out of cover either because what we have effectively proven, I think, is that his technology is responsive to recognize danger, which might involve velocity or his awareness. Um, and if I'm going to have a chance, I mean, I'm not unstealthy, so I guess I'm going to approach the scene of action, but try not to
Hmm.
make myself obvious
Okay.
for now.
Yeah, you can give me a stealth roll, but I'll say it's with advantage. I mean, he's probably more worried about the guy shoving a knife into his back.
Yeah, he's distracted, and I rolled a 9 under my 30, so
Nice. Yeah. 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 So you're able to kind of get up there without any problem.
yeah, and the sword might be effective at close range if he's not aware of it.
All right. Swing away. We'll say with advantage on that also.
Fantastic. So that's a 35 under 45.
Okay. That's +1.
Uh, damage is 5 plus
That's it.
the yeah.
Yep.
And,
So 6 total.
mhm.
Okay. Yep. So you come across, you hit him, and it's just a regular sword. It's not a chain sword, right?
It's a regular sword, and because of the stealthish thing, I'm, thrusting rather than swiping because I think that'll
Right.
trigger the.
He did 6 and he did 6. Okay. Yeah. He is not happy about that. He's bleeding pretty good and all, but he is going to get a move, and so
Uh-oh.
one of the mechadendrites comes swinging at you, Eidolon. Do you want to dodge or fight or try and parry it with your melee skill?
Would dodge be dexterity,
It is
or is it a dodge?
reflexes
Reflexes.
dodge.
Uh, well, parry is slightly better, so we're
Okay,
gonna do that.
all right,
13.
okay, yeah. I got a -3, so I'm sure that beat that. Okay. And then the other arm's going to swing at Kali. Same.
Sure.
Same.
I'm going to parry with the sword.
Okay. I got a +3. I got a +3.
And I'm 65 over 45. I think it's time to
That's a -2.
spend some fate.
All right.
37 is +1. That's
Okay.
not good enough.
Nope.
But-
So I do hit you. I hit you in
Yeah, we can
the
take it.
hit you in the body, and it does 7 points.
Ah,
Okay.
right, that's half. So
Yeah,
that
doesn't
hurts.
matter. Yeah,
But-
it does hurt. All right, Eidolon, you're up.
Am I still pretty much right with him since I was
Oh,
stabbing
yeah,
him?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Auto pistol in the back mouth.
Okay.
Shove it in there. And
All
start.
right. Pull the trigger.
Yeah. Okay.
'Cause he's still kind of like moving around. Of course.
That is a 58 over 55. Well, let's spin that last fate
Yeah,
and
let's do it. Let's
re-roll.
do it. Yeah.
Let's re-roll.
Okay.
Well, that's worse. 60.
Okay. All right. We'll say I'll still say you kind of hit him, but like he kind of jerked his mouth or something. And it came out and just the bullet came out through the cheek or something. It
Okay.
didn't go into his head and all. Okay, so I'll mark that damage. And Cassium, you still kind of just like what in the
Is he wearing the same robe that he was
Yeah.
or whatever?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. So I'm kind of observing very closely to try to see if I can detect if there's like a power source or an origin
Okay.
like switch or
Yeah,
something.
give me an awareness sight.
Awareness sight 50. Okay. So I got a 44, so 1 level of success. Oh wait,
Okay.
I have an augmetic eye plus 10 to awareness, so I got
Oh,
2 levels.
nice. Yeah. So you see it's not a power source. It's like something that you're pretty positive is what's generating it. You don't understand how it works because it is Xenos technology. But yeah,
Okay.
so there's not like a power source for it.
Okay, then I will over the Vox speed. I will say there's a power source, and I'll point
Yeah,
out
yeah.
to whatever the thing would, on
Mhm.
the coat at the left hem or whatever. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Then Callie, you're up.
So, am I feeling resistance? I mean, I assume that I didn't draw the sword entirely out, or maybe I did to push the robo arm out.
Yeah. But no, it's like when you're next to him, you're not feeling that resistance and stuff. So
You're right. Yeah, I'm gonna just swipe it into his gut, thrust toward his gut again.
okay.
He's suffering. 28 is under 45 is 2 levels.
Yep. So I got a 33, which is
33.
2 levels. His skill is 50. What is your skill level?
45.
Okay, so in a case of a tie, the higher wins, and it is a critical hit on you. So
Great.
so he hit you in the right leg, and I will roll what it did. Oh,
And we did not take into account the fact that I have flak armor on earlier.
okay. Yeah, so you could reduce the wounds that he gives you with that.
Right.
But you can't do anything about that. Essentially, he swings, and like he must have been a weird swing because it goes across and it chops off your one of your toes is just kind of smashed out of existence.
Uh,
Uh,
uh.
so it's bleeding. I rolled real not that great for the critical hit.
That's good.
Okay. All right, but yeah, he looks a little bit worse. Where he's going to swing again at you, Eidolon, and you, Kali.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll do Eidolon first.
Okay. Parrying with my knife.
Okay.
That is a 2.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure that's an. I had a +3, but I think yours
Yeah,
is
two on a 45.
yeah. Okay, +4. So yeah, you parried, and then on -4 on mine. -4 on my end.
Wow.
Yeah, I rolled really bad.
Yeah, well, I got a 49 over 45, so is that
You
0?
won. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's -0, so it's
Yeah.
bad. All right, Eidolon. He's bleeding everywhere.
I mean, let's make him bleed some more.
All right.
I'm gonna take the knife and I'm just gonna go just right at the base of his skull,
Okay.
like
All right.
upwards. Yeah.
I love it.
Oh my gosh, why am I good at defending myself but sucking at attacking? That's a 79 over 45. And I have nothing I can do about it. I've burned and used all my fate.
All right. Cassium.
I'm gonna let it play out.
All right, Callie. Come on. You can get this killing blow in.
Yeah. I, yeah. Oh, 4.
There you go. I got a
Four.
+3.
So I've got a +4.
Okay. All right. So you do your damage plus SL.
And so that's 9.
Okay. All right. Okay. You hit him in the leg. Roll a d10 to find out how badly you
6.
6. Okay. All right. So you swing through. The leg is completely shattered as you sever the pelvis, and his guts kind of fall out. He is dead. So he kind of collapses down. Now the guts, they're still like moving. You see, like maybe some of them they start sprouting almost like little appendages and stuff that you can easily step on it. And
Talk about unnatural. The sister was not wrong about this thing.
Yeah.
This is one nasty mutant.
Can we light it on fire?
We need to scoop all this up and burn it for sure.
Yeah.
Let's get the sister. We need a ritual cleansing on this mutant son of a bitch.
all right.
I'm with the arch deacon and the governor, and we've got a small army of SWAT people heading over there to help you out in case you have some difficulty. By the way, the governor needs to take complete credit for what we've done.
He can fight about that with the Inquisitors. Have a scone for me.
All right. Okay. We'll close it out. Anything anyone wants to do before we kind of get to the wrap up there?
Bandage my toe.
Would you like a cybernetic toe?
Think I might. I want a smart toe.
It can be arranged.
Marto.
It's got a USB plug on the end of it. Yeah.
That's right. It's a toe drive. Okay. All right.
The other thing, of course, is that we think there are still explosives behind all of that quickcrete, so we should do a little digging.
Yeah.
Well, we can get a team of people who have the equipment to find explosives. We just need to make sure nobody's in the building.
Yeah. So,
I'd like to
as
get
you
a good
guys
look at this technology.
yeah. So, you see Cassium pick up the technology. It's almost like a what's those things? Not like cummerbund, but it goes around his belt, his
Sash.
his waist,
Yeah.
like a sash, like that. Except it's made of a metal. It looks much more advanced than you've ever seen, Cassium, which is really nice. What would you like to do with it?
It should be turned over to the proper authorities.
That's right, top men.
That's right. I can make sure that it goes to the right place.
All right, excellent. Okay, so
I'm not there to stop you. So
nope. So in the Mechanicus records, they of course log it and they begin studying of it. we'll say in a few years, they claim that they found some old technology that humans had made before, of course, because they would never use Xenos technology, and they start producing this for people. The Inquisition, their official thing is that nothing happened, all the records are redacted, and that of course it wasn't a miracle. It was just
A
the
plot.
emperor's blessing, protecting that one man. Which the emperor doing it's not a miracle. That's standard operating. Wasn't a miracle, but essentially all a lie is what the official story is.
The Emperor helped us to reveal a plot against the wonderful and holy government. So,
That's right. Excellent. Okay.
what about the Burning Seraph?
Okay. All right. So, the Burning Seraph was actually the Lord of Change is one of the demons of Tzeentch, who is one of the evil gods, and so their demons have wings, and so he was projecting an image of the Burning Seraph, and since it was a demon, it was able to make people believe that, oh, this was a saint. And essentially you guys all kind of figured it out. He was just trying to get people there by going, oh, hey, this saint's going to show up, then I'm going to blow it up. And then to add a little extra bait, he blew up the acid refinery with him there because, hey, this is a miracle, so we can get the governor here because it's so much.
Well,
Hyped
thank
it
goodness that the
Yeah.
Archdeacon wasn't actually involved in any of that.
Nope, he was not. I can't remember who said it was really early. Someone said maybe if you just reach in really slow, you can get around the. I was like, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was riffing
Yeah.
on Dune, where it was the slow blade penetrates the
Yeah,
shield.
yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was
How else would the arm have got through?
exactly? Yeah, I was like, yeah, but yeah. So that was what was going on. Was he was angry because they were left behind because and he was being tortured by it was the Drukhari that you were fighting, which are space dark elves. So.
Cool. So, do our characters now advance in some way?
Yeah, so what you would get 100 experience points, and on that player aid I sent you, it talks about how you can spend those.
Cool.
So you can spend it as advances. If you spend advances on skills or specializations, then they go up by 5 points. You spend it on characteristics, they only go up by 1, but then it affects more skills and stuff because they're all based on those skills and everything. So
Yeah. Perhaps we also get a little bit of some of the higher ups know who we are.
oh yeah, you gain influence, and also you guys will get a +1 influence, with the ecclesiarchy for helping them out, and
Cool.
Cassian would get obviously a +1 with the Adeptus Mechanicus for bringing that wonderful technology to him.
This was obviously designed for new people who didn't know how to play, and now that we know how to play, I kind of want to. I'm going to probably go through and make up a new character for the next time we play.
Yeah,
because it would be. I don't want to be Sister Helza because she's a created character from somebody else. And
right. Yeah,
I want to do my own character. Really an interesting game. Liked it very much.
Yeah, it's very lots of conspiracies and everything.
Yeah.
That's the world is.
A
Yeah,
lot of factions.
it seemed when I was looking at it that your Warhammer 40K is a lot of fighting and battling and stuff, but the Imperium Maledictum is a lot more investigation,
Oh yeah, that's
which I
definitely
like
how it's.
very much.
Yeah, it's definitely how it's written. It's supposed to emphasize how, like, essentially the Imperium, no one trusts each other. All the factions are they're like crabs in a bucket. So,
Sure. All right. Our players included David Gassaway, Kent Blue, Stefan Amshi, Matthew Sanderson, and myself, with Keith Craig as the Game Master. We have a Discord server where you can chat with other members. You can set up private games. You can learn the finer arts of gameplay and game mastery. We provide audio-only versions of our shows free for you to download from Spotify, Podbean, or iTunes. Support for the show is provided by our patrons who are listed in the closing credits. If you'd like to show us your appreciation, please visit our Patreon page, or you can use the thanks button just below the stream. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and punch the bell icon for updates on our latest shows. And leave us some comments. We enjoy reading them and answer any questions you might have. This is Thom Raley, together with all the members of our gaming club, inviting you to journey with us once again into the darkness for another adventure into the grim dark of Warhammer 40k and the Imperium Maledictum role-playing game. Until next time, good luck, good gaming.